Do steroids and TRT work on their own, without training, without dieting, without doing anything else? Now for steroids, I'm not going to say anything, but all I will say very briefly, in fact I am going to say something, but I'll say very briefly is, if your goal is to add muscle, if your goal is to get bigger or to get leaner, whatever it is, you must be doing the work first and foremost in order to step up to say, right, I'm going to now take steroids. Nobody goes from being a couch potato, a lazy fat piece of shit, to, okay, now I am going to go and be a champion bodybuilder. So I'm going to do a steroid cycle. It just doesn't happen. It's not the way to do it anyway. And if you have that mindset, if you have that idea that I'm going to sit down and all of a sudden I'm going to take steroids, that's going to give me enough drive to get up and go and do something, you're wrong. Because in order to take steroids, to actual start a steroid cycle, you must be really in the depths of competing or training, eating and sleeping, getting everything right, then you can start taking steroids. When it comes to TRT, it's a little bit different, but let me just talk about muscle mass first. If you take as much steroids as possible that's safe to take or that's unsafe to take, can you build muscle without doing the work? No. And the reason for that is muscle doesn't build unless it's repaired. It's very simple. So in order for a muscle to get bigger, it needs some sort of stimulus to it, training with weights or body weight, depending on who you are. Then you take steroids and your body thinks, okay, we knew how strong we were, but this guy is obviously placing more load on us than that, which is damaging our fiber. We need to make those new fibers and the connective tissue and the ligaments, the joints, the tendons stronger so that we can withstand the next onslaught that's coming our way. That is when steroids work in sync with diet, training, and sleeping. If you are a normal dude and you think TRT is the answer to living a, ripped up, not healthy, we're not talking about healthy here, we're talking about you want to live a life of, I want that beach body. I want that physique competitor body. I want to be ripped, I want abs, I want to be in good shape. And you're not training and you're not doing anything, you're not going out about doing your cardio or anything for that matter. Do you really think a little bit of liquid, if steroids ain't going to do dick to you, what do you think a tiny little bit of 0.25 ml per week or every other week is going to do what? Dick. Nothing. But here's the thing. If you are lazy, tired, low libido, had enough of life, and you get your blood work done, and we see on your blood work that you've got low testosterone, clearly I can almost guarantee you will have low testosterone. If those symptoms are present, low testosterone will be present. There's going to be other issues that are going to come along with that as well, depending on your age and who you are and depending on what you do for a living. If you then take a low dose TRT, what it will do is it will get you up out the chair or the sofa or the settee or out your house, whatever it is. It's going to spark something inside you that you didn't know existed, that you didn't know that was there, that you probably lost and suppressed many years ago. So if you are one of those guys, you haven't trained in a long time, you haven't done any cardio, you don't bother about your diet, you're not bothered about your sleep pattern, you sleep when you're tired, you wake up all groggy, your alarm clock, you got to go to work, you're just dragging yourself through life. And you need some purpose, you need some meaning, you need that oomph, you need that kick up the arse. You're done with the motivation box, you can't be arsed with it, you're watching the YouTube videos, it ain't doing dick for you, you're following the right people on Instagram, it still ain't doing anything. Then TRT, low dose, will at least get you up and out the house. That's step one. So you don't have to get up, be committed to the gym. Make sure life is good, make sure finances are good, make sure your libido's ace, make sure everything's bang on, and then say, okay, all these things are in check, I'm now going to go and do my blood work. I have low testosterone, now I'm going to take testosterone. Ideal scenario, yes, that is the case. I have many clients that are perfectly fine. They're amazing shape, in good shape, in good shape. I've mentioned this before, they're in amazing shape, yet the testosterone is what's letting them down. And as soon as they bang in the testosterone, everything else clicks, and it's sevens across the board, mate. Ding, 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 ding. You've hit the jackpot. That was the only thing that was missing. You just needed that ace card and you got it, boom, everything else works. But if you aren't at that stage and you want to at least try to get to that stage, but nothing's working, Like I said, the self-help books ain't working, the motivational videos isn't working, hiring a coach isn't working, none of that is working. Low dose testosterone is going to get you up and out of the house. That's it. And now, I've had it with clients where they've come to me and said, I cannot do anything. And they hired me and they tried 2-3 days dieting, they gave it up. And I said, bro, what's going on? They said, look, mate, I haven't got the drive. I said, look, did you get your blood work done? Yeah, we did. Okay. I'm going to say to you to try to take some testosterone. Let's see what happens. They took the testosterone and the next day they were up and out. Now, I'm not saying testosterone kicked in straight away, but what it did do is it gave them a placebo effect. And placebo, if you know about placebos, is the most strongest drug you can take ever. Nothing beats placebo. If you want a kick up the arse, or if you want anything, and even if somebody injected water in you and you thought it was steroid and you thought it was TRT and you knew the benefits of TRT, the placebo alone will get you up and out the house. Then obviously you're going to need the real thing later on down the line. And that's with anything in life. Placebo is very, very important. In fact, placebo is so important that there's actually medical research out there where people have had situations or they needed ailments or they needed some sort of medication to get them off this, whatever the issue was. And the placebo medication worked just as good, if not better than the actual medication, which tells us what? The mind is the most powerful tool we own. Nobody can take that away from you. Nobody. Literally. And the only way it can get programmed is if you allow it to get programmed. Yes, every single thought you have today is because you programmed your mind. Maybe not consciously. Maybe you didn't program it consciously. You walk around in the gym, they're playing music. You go and sit in someone's car, they're playing music. You go out and about shopping, they're playing music. That's subconsciously programming your mind. You're in the wrong groups of people, they're talking about shit. You go home, your family is having issues with financials, they're talking about stuff and mess and how hard it is to earn X amount of money. So all these things unintentionally is programming your mind. If you stepped out of that and you stepped into a new group of friends and stepped into new territories where people were discussing on how, shit man, I had a really bad month, I made 80 grand this month, I was supposed to make 120 grand. You think, what the hell are you talking about, bro? How much? You know, when you step out of the 1,000 to 2,000 pound table bracket and you sit with guys who are earning 10, 15, 20,000 pound a month, 60, 70, 80,000 pound doesn't seem so far away. If you go and put yourself in them situations, you're sat down at a table, there's 5 guys all earning 50 grand plus every single month, and you're sat there with 7, 8, 9, 10,000 pound a month, you're thinking, you know what, there's a lot more out there for me. And this is not about being greedy. This just means about unlocking those doors, knowing something else is there. And if you use that same analogy into training and TRT, you don't know the life out there exists. You don't know how it feels to go out there feeling good, feeling fresh, waking up with morning wood, morning libido, knowing you have purpose in life, knowing you have some sort of direction to get up and look at your diary or look at your calendar and say, I'm booked up, bro. You cannot ring me on any day and say, Fadi, what are you doing this day? I'm booked. I'm booked till next year. Be that guy. And it starts with some TRT. I'm not selling it. I'm selling the course and how to take it, or the links in the description. But you know I'm right. Those people who are on TRT, if you felt shit before and you didn't have no direction, you had no purpose, and you wanted to find some purpose, it took some TRT. It does help. So no, it doesn't make you better in the sense where you get a great physique. It doesn't. It might be better on your blood work. If you have really, really shitty blood work, you take some TRT, a couple of things are going to figure themselves out. But it's only going to figure themselves out if you allow it to, if you get up, find some purpose, get up, go out, do something. Go for a walk. That's the motivation. No, that's you know, the injection of motivation, technically, for us humans, for us guys anyway, especially for men. Then that's step one. Then you can figure out how many times a week can I commit to the gym. Maybe I can fit a half an hour time slot here. Maybe if I get up a little bit early, I can do this. Maybe if I meet my old school friends on a weekend and we do this kind of shit. Maybe we go for a hike. Maybe I buy a bike and I don't you know, ride to work. Sorry, I ride to work instead of driving to work. You'll only figure all these things out if you're in the right headspace. You're only going to be in the right headspace if you make that conscious effort. And like I said, it starts with that. It is the super drug. There's other stuff out there. There's millions of things out there that you can take. But I know this is tried and tested. Hopefully this gave you some value. Comment down below if you feel in a slump and what you're doing to get out of it. Like and please subscribe.